7 says the record low temperatures for 3 towns in the USA are given in the table below. Which of the towns has the highest temperature? Which has the lowest temperature? So when we're talking about temperatures, highest and lowest, we want to make sure that we answer with the town. So we aren't going to put the numbers there. We're going to put the town there. The highest temperature is going to be the biggest number. So if I look at -12, -23, and -34 on a number line, -12 is going to be farthest to the right, which means that that's going to be my highest temperature. Even though 12 degrees really isn't that warm, it would be the warmest out of those 3. The coldest, the lowest temperature, is going to be the one that is farthest to the left. So the one that's farthest to the left is -34, which is Bismarck. Number 8 says compare using less than, greater than, or equal to. So I have to convert 2/5 into a decimal. My 2 goes on the inside with a decimal point and 0. 5 goes on the outside. Decimal point goes up. 5 can't go into 2. 5 can go into 24 times. I subtract and I get 0. So I have 0.4 and 0.65. So if I line those up, I fill in my blank with a 0. I have my ones place. There's a tie. So I move to my tenths place. I have a 6 and I have a 4. 6 is bigger. So whenever I do this, I'm going to say 2/5 or 0.4 is less than 0.65. And my opening is going to go towards 0.65. Number 9. Evan has $35.82 in his savings account. Jake has $36.12. Christina has $36.32. And Bonnie has $35.57. Who has saved the most money? Who has saved the least? So there's going to be a question really similar to this on the test. And you're going to have to show your work. Showing your work on this is taking these 4 numbers and lining them up. So I have 35.82. I have 36.12, 36.32, and 35.57. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to label those. 35.82 is Evan. 36.12 is Jake. 36.32 is Christina. And 35.57 is Bonnie. So I'm going to try and figure out who saved the least first. So that's going to be my smallest number. So I start farthest to the left. My 3's all a tie. So I'm going to move to the next place value. I have 5, 6, 6, and 5. My brain should automatically be telling me, okay, 5 is smaller. So I'm going to go to the next place value and look at my 10th place with the ones that have the 5 there. So I have to decide, is 8 smaller or is 5 smaller? 5 is smaller, which means Bonnie has saved the least. So I want to find the statement, Bonnie equals the least. So if I look over here, it says Christina's, okay, the first parts are all money, or most. The second part says Evan saved the least. Well, we know that's not going to be an option because Bonnie saved the least. Christina has saved the most money and Bonnie has saved the least. We're going to wait to see if that one could be true. C says Jake has saved the most money and Bonnie saved the least. So we got to keep that one because we know Bonnie has saved the least. And then D says Jake has saved the most and Evan has saved the least. So I'm going to mark that one off because I know Bonnie saved the least. Now I'm going to look at my 2 numbers that have the 6's. And I'm going to look at 3 and 1. So I'm going to compare 3 and 1. 3 is bigger, so Christina saved the most. So we're going to look for the statement that says Christina saved the most and Bonnie saved the least. All right, next one is 10. It says graph the numbers negative 4.5 and negative 2 on the number line below. So I'm going to start with that. Negative 4.5, I'm going to label that A. Negative 2, I'm going to label that B. Then it says describe the positions of the two numbers. So it wants you to talk about which number is farther left, which number is farther right. You could even talk about which is bigger or smaller. So I'm going to say negative 4.5 is farther left on the number line. And negative 2 is farther right on the number line. If you have something other than that and you're wondering if it's correct, raise your hand now and I can come and check it. Okay, number 11. Glenn spends 3/10 of his money on clothes and 15% on video games. Does he spend more money on clothes or video games? So I need to convert clothes, which is 3/10. I need to convert that to a decimal. And video games, which is 15%, I need to convert that to a decimal. So I'm going to start with clothes. 3 is on the inside with a decimal point and 0. 10's on the outside. Bring my decimal point up. 10 can't go into 3. 10 goes into 30 3 times. 10 times 3 is 30. I subtract and get 0. So clothes, he spends 0.3 on clothes. Video games, to convert that, we're going to take 15%, mark off that percent sign, put my decimal point, hop 2 places to the right, is 0.15. So if I compare those two, if I put 0.3 on top, I have 0.30. So I have to decide which of these numbers is bigger, and that's my clothes. So I start in ones place, they're tied, I move to the next place value. I have a 3 and a 1. 3 is bigger, which tells me that 3/10 is going to be bigger than 15%, which means he spends more money on clothes, which is A.